culture is a man-made thing. And therefore, if we see that a particular custom or tradition within the culture is anti-human, it dehumanizes people, degrades them, then we in the Catholic Church demand and expect that such obnoxious customs should be abrogated, because Christ, the Son of God, has come to cast the light of revelation and the light of salvation upon every sphere of our lives, including Igbo customs and culture. Yes, they say customs die hard, but I come from a village that has a line of dibia. My great-great-great-grandfather, my line is a line of traditional medicine men and priests. My father was the first Catholic Christian in my family lineage. But I grew up in the midst of dibia in my village at Emekuku. My village is the oldest in Emekuku. I would have been a dibia if Christ had not come. But I have looked at the traditional religion and the practices, and I have critically examined the Christian religion, and I have chosen the light that has come from Christ. That is why I now look at the Igbo culture, I look at the tradition. Whatever is good that can be upheld in the light of Christ, I keep it. Whatever is not appropriate, we discard. Remember, we used to kill twins. Up to about 20, 30 years ago, even in Abakaliki, they were killing twins. You know better maybe. But one of my classmates, the grandfather, Raymond Ezonum, crusaded and was bringing twins to be taken care of. And I think gradually the practice is down. But even over in Owerri and different parts of Igbo land, twins were not regarded as human beings because of a traditional belief that a human being should not produce like animals. So apart from that, there are things that are also being done in our culture. I have delved into the question of incest and how to abrogate it. That is, having carnal, fleshly relationship between relatives of the same blood or the same family. Yeah, formerly, there was this major ordeal in traditional society whereby a person guilty of incest or persons guilty would be treated to an act of shaming, because shaming was considered a way of, not only warning but also treating the matter as a aba orioshin yala, where they used to get people, whether men or women, to go naked, and they would put a fowl or nabe, a tortoise, around the neck, and the person will run around the market. So when I took over the matter, instead of going to the extent of getting the person to go naked in the market and all that, what we did was to get the persons involved to kneel before the public. Kneel and eventually confess to the sin. Ask for forgiveness from God, ask for forgiveness from the family and the kindred. And in the process, I would use blessed water for the purification of the persons by their washing their hands in blessed water, and we pour away by getting the people to drink water as a sign of recommunion and reconciliation. So there are areas that have become involved in helping our people to get out of fear, including when a woman dies, or when the husband of a person dies, the widow is often treated to some obnoxious practices whereby that person will not use his hand to scratch korokoro. He has to use a stick. Sometimes they now use a rosary in place. But these are things that we have looked into and trying to say, look, we don't have to go to this extent. Already a person is mourning, grieving the death of their husband, and you get her to, you shouldn't wash for weeks. And then the health, the dirt that is involved. There's my sister-in-law who was working at the high level in government. When the husband died, my brother, I said, look, you're not going to stay here for 6 weeks just waiting. Just have some weeks, 2 weeks. Thereafter, prepare yourself, go back to work, because the mourning is not just about shaving the hair, etc. Well, these are external signs, but the true mourning comes from the heart, from the spirit. So we've been trying to look at this, but because of the fear of the people, and the enforcers, you have enforcers of some of these customs and traditions, they kind of wield authority, but they don't look at the implications for the human person. That's why in the church, no matter who you are, from archbishop to bishop to priest or to knight to lady or to CWO, CMO or youth, whenever an authentic Catholic Christian dies, the simple process of mourning and eventual burial. And we ensure that the process is carried on within a Christian environment and with a Christian spirit. Yes, mourning is part of what we owe to a person who has died, but we have to mourn as people who have faith, and not as pagans or as people who have no faith. So our faith as Catholic Christians or Christians in general ought to shape how we handle customs and traditions. I have been also in various communities, including Ogwa, Mberi, Isu, Mbano, to do the abrogation of the Diala Usu Umeka system. And I have officiated at the wedding of young Igbos who fall in love with each other without taking into consideration accusations of Diala Usu Ogume. I have been in fights with some of the parents. A number of those that I officiated at their wedding, the parents denounced them and denounced me, but the marriage has gone on and children have been born of these. In one case, the mother of the girl said, because you are marrying a so-called Osu, you will never beget any child. You will never. And she was hitting in my office. And even the family came and fought the young lady in my office, pushed her down. And I said, okay, this is diabolic act. I eventually officiated at the wedding. And today, the young lady has 4 children. So you need an authority that will help to break down the customs and traditions that are anti-human. And that's why Christ empowers us, because he has broken every chain. Every chain that has been bound around the children of God ought to be broken, because those chains have no right to be. But the process continues, especially in the face of attempts by a younger generation of Igbos who want to return to traditional customs, traditional ways of living in the name of that colonialism and Christianity have destroyed our culture. Certain aspects of our culture have been touched and removed. But all in all, for me, Christianity is the way to go. I'm not going back to the traditional religion, to Amadioha, Aokedamkwo, Oramunokwa, Odeke, Ebumri, Umuagwo, because God created us in his own image and likeness and would like us, loves us to live our lives fully in Christ. And for anyone in Christ, there's a new creation. The old order has gone.